There is still a $2 bill in my wallet I have never spent. It's soft now, almost like cloth. The edges are worn down from years of being touched, but not used. Every time my finger brush against it, I go back to that night. I was 14 years old, a gas station, 80 miles from home. The light above the pump kept buzzing, flickering like it could not decide if it wanted to stay alive. Gravel crunched under the tires of the car idle for a moment. Then the door opened and a hand shoved the bill into mine. Man up and find your own ride home. The door slammed. The car pulled away. Red light fading into the dark. All of it because I talked too big, because I asked to change one song playing in the back seat. I remember standing there, not moving, like maybe the car would come back if I stay still enough. It did not. Before I go on, where are you reading this from right now? Because that night there was no one watching me, no one asked question. I ended up behind the dumpster, hanging my knees, trying to stay warm. The smell was cheap, the ground cold, every small sound felt too loud. No one came looking, and the truth is, the person they left behind that night was not who I am now, not even close. In their version, I was stepbrother. In my version, I learned that family could leave you somewhere in the dark and settle accept you to sit at the dinner table the next day like nothing happened. When I got home, no one said sorry. Richard sat at the table, drinking his office, reading the paper like it was any normal morning. Diane looked at me once and said I was being dramatic. Tyler laughed and said, "Hi, check your wallet," like it was some kind of shock we all share. But I was not laughing. That's when I stopped arguing, not because I agreed, but because I understood something speaking did not change anything there. So I got quiet. I took a job at a small grocery store. I saved every dollar in a shoe box under my bed. I collected college brochures like they were mapped out of a place I did not belong. And one day I left. Chicago was loud, cold, and lonely, but it was a clean kind of lonely, the kind where no one pretended to care, the kind where no one owns you love they never plan to care. I become a social worker because I know that look. When a teenager says I'm fine, but their eyes are asking, please notice I'm not. I found Lena behind a building not longer after I moved, small shaking, hissing at anyone who came close. It took time. But she learned not every hand was there to hurt her. Maybe I did do. And that $2 bill. It stopped feeling like a memory for that night. It became proof that I made it out. Tyler wrote that they learned loyalty from his close knit family. I read that line over and over until the words started to blur because I knew that house. I knew what loyalty looked like there. It looked like silence. The envelope came a few days before that, thick ivory paper, no return address, just my mother handwriting on the front. Neat, careful, almost too perfect, like she knew someone else might say it. Inside was the invitation, my name followed by one word, distant. I placed the $2 bill next to it on the table for a long time. I just started at the power, past and present, side by side. Then I looked up her broad. She had that kind of face, the kind that trusts easily, the kind that does not accept to be lied to. That made it rose. I found their wedding website, their story. Tyler wrote about family like it was something solid, something safe, something that built him. But I knew the truth, and I realized something simple. If I stayed quiet, then that lie would keep me living. So I made a decision. I was not going back for a revenge. I was going back so the truth could exist in the same room. I sent Brooke an email, calm, careful. I asked her to keep it private. And that night, I sat alone and thought about being 14 again. We are not going there to beg. I told that version of me. We are going there to be seen. The lodge looked perfect. White flowers everywhere, soft music, glasses of champagne catching the light, people laughing like nothing bad had ever touched their lives. And then there was me. I sat there before the saw me. Richard stood like he owned the room, taking up space. without trying to dine smile too much, hanging people like she was playing a part. Tyler, he looked happy, came like a man who had never been questioned, like that might never happen. An older woman, Margaret, asked me how I knew the family. I told her I am the distant one. She nodded like that explained everything. Tyler pulled me aside later. His voice was low. Dad, do not start anything. I looked at him and said, you were always good at making other people carry the uncomfortable parts. At the reception, there was no seat for me. They told me everything I needed to know. For a moment, the old feeling came back. That summer, cold feeling of being pushed out. But then I felt the bill $2 inside my purse. Flat, steady, real. So I stood up, walked to the microphone. At first, no one noticed. Then the room slowly went quiet. I held up the $2 bill. I said my voice clear. He told me, man up and find your own right home. Then my family drove away. You could feel the shift like the air changed. Nobody spoke, not one person. I walk over and place that bill in front of Tyler. Consider this my wedding gift. No one laughed, no one moved. A server nearby just froze, holding a tray in mid-air. Tyler said nothing. Richard looked away first, and that silence said more than anything else. I stepped back, looking around the room one last time. I remember, I said quietly, that family is not what you say in a toast. Then I walked out through the side doors. No applause, no shooting, just the sound of everything cracking behind me. She wrote back, I believe you. I read that message 3 times. Then I sat there, starting at the screen, feeling something shift deep inside me. Somewhere the 14 years old girl behind the dumpster finally stood up. Rock sent the message around midnight, short, clear, no confusion in her words. She told me Tyler tried to explain it away, said it was not that bad. That sentence ended her message faster than anything else. She fell for an annulment. After that, things started to fall apart for him, quietly but completely. The White Taker family stepped back, invitation stopped, opportunities faded, a promotion he talked about for months just disappeared. Richard business slowed down too. Calls not returned, contract not renewed, dying social circle stayed polite, but distant in a way that felt final. No shooting, no sense, just absence. Richard sent me a letter, angry, carefully with his word, but clear enough. I kept it, not out of fear, out of proof. I shared my story once anonymously in a sport group. Hundreds of people responded, not with doubt, not with question, with belief. And I realized something I wish I knew back then. Abandonment is not discipline. Silence is not healing. Your pain does not need approval from the people who cause it. And the bill, $2. It's not in my wallet anymore. I did not need it because the girl who held in that night finally walked away.